Module 1, the education module. I've labelled it Your Mind First Taking Action. And what you're going to get in this module is we're going to discuss the top regrets of the dying and how you can reverse engineer this and plan a more fulfilling life strategy. The number one question most life coaches and mindset gurus and those specialists in the self-help industry, what they don't cover very thoroughly, and how it prevents you from really taking that action, really having that understanding and drive to do what you want to do. How the brain is yours to control, and therefore your actions, once you know how to operate it, and a new way of setting conscious goals, which kind of goes against the grain of what you've been doing, what you've been learning in business courses, etc. Okay, and what we'll cover, the questions are like how you make decisions and why you can't consistently do what you know you should, need, and want to do. How you're subconsciously programmed and how much it's actually affecting you today, especially the program that you had during childhood. Just how powerful the mind really is and how a few small tweaks will profoundly change your ability to succeed. How to overcome success barriers goes with those previous points. How to leverage compounding momentum within your own thought processes. Why and how you need to become a brand new person, a brand new way of thinking in order to achieve your goals. Awesome. All right, the top 3 life regrets of the dying. The theory about this is, in online business and in marketing, we'll tend to analyze our competitors, their campaigns, their business structure, etc., like their target audience. We'll tend to reverse engineer all those processes and create our own processes as a result. So what we can do is we can actually take that exact same principle and put it into a bit of a personal development, self-help area. So what are the most successful people? What are their greatest regrets? What are their greatest actions? The most successful people who are actually happy about their fucking lives, what are their greatest regrets? What would they tell us if they were talking to themselves? And it's come up to these 3 points, which I've summarized here. The number 1 life regret is not taking the action or actions that you wanted to take or pursue in life in action, which is what the course is really about. Number 2, you're too outcome focused, didn't enjoy the journey, and always focus on the destination. So exactly, you're not enjoying life as it is, you're always looking for something else. And number 3 is not maintaining or having the meaningful relationships, the friendships, the family, the social life, the sex life that you wanted. Because we are very social creatures, but there is a bit of a structure to these regrets, which we'll go into now. So the number 1 regret is actually inaction, because if you solve this, you solve the other 2 top life regrets, and that's it. Like those regrets that we're going through just before 1, 2, and 3. If you actually look closely, these are the things that are really the hardest, the most emotionally draining and exhausting on you today. Like you're not taking the actions that you want to take. You're hating this, whatever situation you're in right now. If you're not hating, you're kind of not grateful for what you've got. And third, like you're not positioning yourself socially exactly where you want in life. Like what you're experiencing today is what you're going to be experiencing in the future, but at a compounding level. So what I've come to find is that if you solve the number 1 life regret in action, you'll tend to solve the other 2. If you try to solve being present and enjoying the moment as it is, without you knowing what you want to be doing in life, without taking the actions that you want to do in life, it's almost though you're escaping your reality. It's not really a fulfilling moment. You're actually escaping. It'll lead to whatever you repress, you kind of express tenfold in the future. And if you try and solve the number 3 life regret, having great connection and social life, without solving the first life regret in action, if you try and solve number 3 first, your value and social identity tied up in those around you rather than yourself. And it's a very volatile, very bipolar way of living life, especially when you don't have that in-depth self-worth yourself. So what this course is mainly focused on is the number 1 life regret in action, because it's a domino effect, and it'll have a domino effect in the other 2. Brings us to the number 1 question that the personal development gurus, self-help specialists, blah, 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 what they don't focus on is getting crystal clarity in the specific type of action that's most fulfilling and helps you to thrive in the modern world. Because if that is your goal, you understand the value in having that independent lifestyle, controlling your time. A lot of gurus, when you talk to them, when you come across their content, they'll tend to ask you, oh yeah, just tell us what you want out of life, or what are your hobbies, what do other people think you're good at, etc. It's very vague. They don't really give you much direction in identifying what the fuck you actually want out of life. That has this domino effect in everything else you do. We'll go through this further in the presentation. Second question, what's holding you back from taking the action? For this number one, life regret, and how do you overcome that inaction? And what I want to dive into straight away, just as an introductory, is your autonomic nervous system. The things that are occurring in your life, the way you're reacting to your environment naturally, automatically. There's two systems that we're going to focus on, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. You might also know them as fight or flight or rest and digest, also known as like that classic cliche, like if you see a saber-toothed tiger, you're either going to shit yourself and get killed, or you're going to fight. Now what we're going to dive into is this video. This is a really funny video by a clinical neuroscientist by Lorimer Moseley. He's going to give you a thorough understanding of clinical neurology,